Men det alvorlige også det prinsipielle. Nå var i vår Fremskrittspartiet det eneste partiet som ikke ville være med på en skrivning i Stortinget om betydningen av en FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
Og denne New World Order, det noe sprøyt.
FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
Og denne New World Order, det noe sprøyt som funnet opp av konspirasjonsteoretikere.
FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
Om jeg kan få oss ut av FN og Parisavtalen, legge ned noe han kaller NWO, som åpenbart en konspirasjonsteori.
FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
Om verdensherredømme. Om verdensherredømme.
FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
Om verdensherredømme.
FN-ledet verdensorden.
Dette vil være veldig dumt hvis vi skulle gå ut av FN. Det å gå ut av Parisavtalen betyr jo bare at klimautfordringene våre vil bli enda større.
At hvis vi vedtar FN-resolusjoner i Sikkerhetsrådet, og ingen villig til å sørge for at de kan gjennomføres, da har et av SVs veldig viktige mål gått tapt, nemlig at vi ønsker en FN-ledet verdensorden.
Og denne New World Order, det noe sprøyt som funnet opp av konspirasjonsteoretikere.
Nemlig at vi ønsker en FN-ledet verdensorden.
FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Og denne New World Order, det noe sprøyt som funnet opp av konspirasjonsteoretikere.
Today is the first full day of the New World Order. Outdoor gatherings are limited to 2 people. Exercise is allowed, but no further than a 10-kilometre radius from your home. Browsing in shops is not permitted. Only 1 person per household may leave to do essential shopping. And from tomorrow, funerals are limited to 10 people.
This is a world pandemic. It's a 1 in 100-year event. So you can expect that we will have transmission from time to time, and that's just the way it is. We've got to accept that this is the new world order. We've got to accept that this is the new world order. This is the new world order. This is the new world order.
It is a big idea, a new world order. We can find meaning and reward by serving some higher purpose than ourselves. A shining purpose, the illumination of 1,000 points of light.
It's no longer a theory. What I'm about to say is fact. The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government. This is terrorism of the most worst kind, brought on you by our own government.
To lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century.
Og denne New World Order, det noe sprøyt som funnet opp av konspirasjonsteoretikere.
Nemlig at vi ønsker en FN-ledet verdensorden.
FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
Here's how Agenda 21 is defined by the United Nations. A comprehensive plan of action to be taken globally, nationally, and locally by organizations of the United Nations system, governments and major groups in every area in which humans impact the environment. Wow, that's kind of broad. Now, it has been adopted by more than 178 governments. I believe there's only 191 on the planet. The United Nations had their big conference on the environment and development in Rio back in 1992, and that's when everybody jumped on board. But it sounds harmless. It's only Agenda 21. Yeah, go look this one up, because it's not so harmless. And it really, can I tell you something? You have to dig pretty deep into this thing. I mean, because look at all this. It doesn't get spooky until about here. Just section 1. Social and economic dimensions, which talks about the redistribution of wealth, changing consumption patterns, promoting health, I love this one, change population, and sustainable settlement. That's good. Then a little later, when it talks about the redistribution of wealth, which we all love, quote, developed countries and funding agencies should provide specific assistance to developing countries in adopting an enabling approach to the provision of shelter for all. So that's like guaranteed housing. Well, that's going to be great because the government's going to own all of our houses anyway because we're all going broke because of this. Reading through the pages, it becomes clear sustainable development is just a really nice way of saying centralized control over all of human life on planet Earth. That doesn't sound bad. It starts to make more sense when you see who's responsible for all of this. First, Gro Harlem Brundtland. I love her. I don't really know how to say her name because I don't know anybody who names their child with the first name G-R-O, Gro. But here she is, strong like bull. She happens to be the first vice president of Socialist International, which I read in Newsweek, we're all socialists now, just like Gro. Totally unrelated to her work at the UN is her socialist work, I'm sure. She's also really close friends with the Clintons. Oh, they get along so great. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Yoo-hoo! Right here. There she is. She's also active in the Clintons' Global Initiative. She's there for the annual meetings. Yeah. She was there when Hillary received a German Media Award in 2005. And here's Hillary wishing her dear friend happy 70th birthday. Watch. Here she is.
As a former environment minister, a longtime advocate for sustainable development, and most recently as a United Nations Special Envoy for Climate Change. You helped set the stage for intensive diplomatic and scientific work being done on this issue today.
Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Gro wasn't just there. Come on, she's being modest here. Gro wasn't just there. She coined the term sustainable development in a 1987 missive entitled Our Common Future.
Unless poverty is alleviated, there is no chance that we will be able to stabilize the world population. It has grown by 500 million since the Commission last met 5 years ago. We must deal with population growth through an integrated approach, including education and the enhancement of the status of women, improved public health and family planning. During preparations for this conference, many developing countries declared themselves ready to make political commitments to curb population growth towards full implementation of Agenda 21. But there is a time bomb ticking, and when the world population doubles and the world economy increases, fivefold or tenfold, we need nothing less than to build a global democracy. We need nothing less than to build a global democracy.
FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden. FN-ledet verdensorden.
Og denne New World Order, det noe sprøyt som funnet opp av konspirasjonsteoretikere.
So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal, in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
Ja. Denne introen her, Den har jeg valgt fordi at for å vise at det finnes norske politikere som starta vesentlig i tidlig 90-tallet. Og her har jeg vist noen av dem, og selvfølgelig så det jo flere. Før vi går videre så tenkte jeg det at vi skulle ta en som jeg har valgt også som intro. Så jeg kjører videre på den.
From East Asia, we go to Northern Europe, the land of the many fjords and the midnight sun. From Norway, Prime Minister Erna Solberg is with us. Erna, I'm so happy that you can join us. Please take the floor.
Thank you, Ursula, and good afternoon, everyone. This conference is an expression of one key fact, that global health crisis can only be pushed back through solidarity and through partnerships between governments, strong multilateral organizations, civil society, and the private sector. As long as the virus is active somewhere, we are at risk everywhere. To protect ourselves, we must in fact protect each other. So today marks a turning point in how we can combat the pandemic. This is the beginning of a global movement barely seen before. Through the partnerships launched today, we will intensify the search for a vaccine. We will strengthen the search for effective treatments and increase our diagnostics capacities. And we will make sure that the achievements are fairly distributed and universally available. These partnerships must also be with us when we recover. We should be guided by the Sustainable Development Goals, including the commitment to leave no one behind. Norway supports the leadership of the World Health Organization. Without the World Health Organization, an effective and coordinated response to the pandemic will not be possible. Multilateral cooperation is more important than ever. So we pledge an additional 50 million kroner to the World Health Organization. Furthermore, we commit to support global COVID-19 efforts directed to the poorest and the most vulnerable. We will develop a detail on our response in the coming weeks and months. Norway funds the development of a vaccine through CEPI and will increase our support with $220 million, and will do so together with other committed states and actors. But as we all know, developing the tools only gets us halfway. In order to save lives, vaccines, treatment, and diagnostic tools must be made available to all. Gavi plays a vital role in making vaccines, including a COVID-19 vaccine, when ready, available to poor countries and to vulnerable groups. So Norway pledges $1 billion to Gavi for the next strategic period, including $400 million to the International Finance Facility for Immunization. As a co-leader of today's event, I will work to mobilize resources and political commitment for fair access and distribution of vaccines. So together, I think we will reach our goals of a safer and more sustainable future for all. Thank you.
Mange tak, Erna. And I hope to see you soon again.
Ja, det jeg hadde tenkt å vise dere I dag, det var en dokumentasjon på dette med kondens. Altså, det jo så mye snakk om kondens I disse her flystripene. Som jeg har påpekt mange ganger, så finnes det jeg vil si stort sett ikke, for selvfølgelig noe det, men altså det noe vi ikke ser. Så det jeg jobber med nå, det at jeg henter fram dokumentasjon på det som har med at det finnes giftstoffer I flybrennstoffet, og det i seg selv, det det vi ser i dag av flystripene på himmelen. Så alt det som som vi ser som av disse her stripene, så det grunnstoffer, altså farlige stoffer i det de slipper ut. Det går igjen over til skyer, altså, og da har de satt et navn på det, og det Sirius-skyer. Og som etter hvert da går over til å bli cumulusskyer, som da igjen kan produsere regn. Så det var nå det. Det egentlig ikke så mye mer jeg hadde tenkt å si, annet enn at Facebook, det kommer jeg til å mer eller mindre holde meg veldig mye unna, for det ødelegger egentlig veldig mye for måten som jeg presenterer det som jeg vil informere om. Var i går i heftig diskusjon, eller det vil si jeg svarte ikke fra Facebook-siden til faktisk, og for å si det rett ut så det egentlig ganske interessant å provosere, for du ser med en gang på hvilket nivå de folka da som ikke tåler og at andre har andre meninger. Men det blir sikkert bare med det ene gangen. Så for meg å sitte og diskutere timesvis på Facebook, det ikke aktuelt lenger. Så det var egentlig det vesle jeg hadde, fordi at jeg ville bare påminne om at jeg hadde og har toppolitikere som med på å innføre den galskapen som nå. Men jeg skal komme tilbake igjen til senere. Så da får dere ha